I grew up in church, grew up around the whole idea of like who God was, and I was sincere, but didn't really feel that God was close. Didn't feel felt that God was far away just by looking at what was going on in the world. I remember just whenever I heard the name of God, I just felt sometimes shame because I felt I wasn't good enough.
We had a lot of rules in the Catholic Church. Into my early teens, I became an atheist, and there was a lot of death in my family, so I just lost my faith and lost my belief in God, and had a lot of questions in my mind about who God was and what happens in the afterlife.
It seemed to start from a series of events that kind of took me from a place of being really close with the Lord and really sensitive to a place of just separation and walking away. I mean, I completely walked away. My dad passed away, and a series of things happened that just kind of led me astray, and I just gave up. And then eventually just kind of started chasing other idols and chasing things that became more important to me and just had a lot more weight in my life, and they were just worthless, pointless things.
So I was giving myself over to drugs and alcohol and women in order to satisfy this longing in my heart, and none of that was ever going to fulfill me, and I really felt empty inside. And there came a point where I met some people who started talking to me about Jesus.
I met a friend, and he began to tell me about Jesus, and I just didn't believe anything he said at first. I just blew it away. Like, I just blew it off, and I just thought to myself that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and he has no idea like what I've been through and all the questions that I have, and even like the hurt that I had inside of me. I just ignored him for a while, and he kept on saying like, you need Jesus, and he needs to come into your life and move all these things that are like blocking him from showing his love to you.
I kind of went on this journey to find truth. Who is this guy named Jesus? Is he really who he says he is? And over a course of about 2 years, I found out who he was. And since then, I've been completely different. I've been wrecked. That this man, he loves me enough to die for me, you know, someone who was completely in rebellion to what he was about.
I remember one evening I was at a service at my college, and the speaker was talking about Hosea and God's jealousy for his people. And that was really the first time I heard about a God who cared, about a God of emotion. And I remember for the first time my heart coming alive and realizing that God actually, loved me and he cared for me. And that was a turning point for me, realizing that God wasn't a God that was far away, but close.
I began to raise these questions up in the air, and I didn't know who I was talking to or if I was going to get an answer at all. I just heard God tell me like that he was going to take care of me, and that all the darkness that was in my life, like he wanted to take it away. And it was just a powerful moment when I had so much hurt and so much fear in my life, and God just took it away. Like he just said, I'm going to come and I'm going to make your life new again, and you're going to be with me.
It got really dark. I mean, even points of suicidal thoughts and just more of a overwhelming hopelessness. And in those moments, I'd always be able to find a Bible, and there'd be just key things where I knew he was drawing me back. And eventually I just came back to him, and it's just been such a blessing and such a life-changing thing. It's just unbelievable, the relationship that I was missing, that I didn't even know that I was missing. And it's an ongoing thing. I have not arrived in any sort of form, but it's a great journey and great adventure.